system, I developed my Sankaku to have an answer for any defense my opponent might put up. This is my basic Sankaku attack. I hook in, roll to my left, tie up the arm, and then secure the triangle with my legs to get the submission. A successful Sankaku relies on everything being tight and well drilled. So at each step of the way, I have little tricks and backup plans to help improve my chances of success. For example, if I grab just the belt to initiate the attack, it is easy to lose control as it slides around Uka's waist. So instead, I hold both the belt and bottom of Uka's jacket to ensure the best possible control. With the gi and belt both in hand, the belt can no longer slide around as I grab the sleeve and roll over to my side. The next step is to tie off Uka's left arm. I do this by putting my left arm underneath it before using the skirt of Uka's jacket to trap it to their body. I find that the skirt of the jacket gives the tightest control around Uka's wrist as opposed to his belt or lapel. In order to get the shimewaza, I have to bring Uka's arm tightly in front of his own neck. A little trick I use to get hold of the sleeve is to apply pressure on Uka's lapel with my right hand as I kick out my right leg. This starts to choke Uke, so that the only way he can escape is to roll towards me and give up the arm, which I then pull in tightly with my right calf and right hand. I tighten my legs around Uka's neck and arm by kicking out my right leg before making a triangle with my right foot under my left knee and squeezing in until Uke submits. If Uke doesn't tap out, I can tighten the strangle further still by reaching over my right knee, grabbing the trousers of my left leg and stretching out my arm. But if I still can't get the submission in time, I have the option of moving on top to secure osakomi. When on top, I pull Uka's left leg in and post out with my right hand under Uka's hip. This way, as my opponent struggles, I can keep a firm base at all times. And in a competitive situation, of course, all these elements come together in a tightly drilled attack. This is my basic Sankaku attack, but I also have variations to account for difficult opponents. For example, if my opponent is too strong to roll to my left, then I can take a different approach. I go instead to my right and switch my legs, making a triangle with my opponent facing downwards. I can then move across the top of him and back into the same position that I would have been in before applying the Sankaku in the normal way. I hook my left leg under Uka's armpit while having my right knee next to his head. When I fall to my right side, my left leg pulls Uka's arm forward, giving me the opening for my right leg to take over the arm. Then I make the triangle with my legs and pull my foot in tight behind my knee. To make the switch with my legs, I stretch out Uka's right arm with my left leg and then hook my right heel on his triceps to make sure he cannot retract his arm. My left leg comes back over and I pull my right foot tight behind my knee. Then to turn Uke over, I pull his right foot towards his back and simultaneously drive my hips downwards. Now that Uke is stretched out, I can simply roll him over. In competition, an opponent will want to stay on his knees, so I will really have to force him down. This is not about being nice. Against a really strong opponent, if I can't flatten him out, then I can still go under rather than over him. I do this by firstly pulling the leg closest to me over my head, and then reaching for the leg furthest from me and pulling them together. Having little backup plans like this to account for difficult opponents is what total judo is all about. Another way an opponent can frustrate my Sankaku attack is by refusing to give me any space for my left heel. If this happens, I have to create an opening first. By taking a grip of Uka's left lapel and pulling back, I can create just enough space to get my heel in. Without Uke, you can see how I get the grip and then drop to my right. I pull Uka's lapel in a circle to my body. My wrist under his armpit creates just enough space behind his elbow for my heel to hook in. If my opponent wants to keep me from hooking in by grabbing my leg with his right hand, I simply turn this to my advantage. I slowly pull back my leg, thus straightening Uka's arm out. I then use my right leg to trap it. Then I snap off the grip on my left leg and proceed as planned. I have done these Sankaku routines thousands of times to learn about every small detail that can help me in competition. Here is an example from the 2003 Tallinn World Cup against Ruby from the Czech Republic. After my Tayatoshi attack, I stay on top to go in for the Sankaku. I make the switch with the legs and go over. To make sure that I have enough time to put the strangle on, I continue to osaikomi while tightening my legs. This is at the 2003 World Championship against Okirbat from Mongolia. When he drops to his knees, I stay on top to start my Sankaku attack. I go for the switch, and when the triangle is closed, I go over and finish the routine to osaikomi. I keep the pressure on with my legs, which makes him tap out. You see me going in with my hand first to create an opening for my heel. When I make the switch with my legs, I really want to make sure that the triangle is closed and tight before I go over.